Welcome back for another episode of 70s Daydreams. We've got a doozy for you today. We have a short film. It's one of the first computer animated films. It's called La Faim, or Hunger in English, and it is pretty. It's a lot. And there's a lot to talk about. It's from '74, I believe. It's won several prizes. I think it won the jury prize at Cannes in '74 and a few other prizes. So let's just get into it.
Yeah. And this is also a short one. So just only 11 minutes long. And then it's from the National Film Board of Canada, correct, too?
I believe so,
Yeah,
yes.
and no words, no dialogue.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we're inundated with words. So
Yeah.
anytime there's content that there's like no words, I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah.
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 Gives my brain a rest. I really like the color scheme. Like it starts out with like mainly orange, like this sort of like burnt orange background, and like the characters are all white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just love like the contrast of just two colors. And then it shifts to blue. And do we go back to orange at some point?
Yeah. I think it's orange, blue, and then orange again, and then red, and then pink. And it just keeps switching, like based on, and then there's like blue towards the end, and it ends on red.
Yeah,
So
a very bloody red at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So basically follows this guy who he just loves eating, and it just follows his journey of eating. And then I don't know. I'm not really sure how else to describe the plot.
Yeah, I mean, I think eating, but also consuming, just in various forms. Like there's the phone, and there's the women, and I wonder if it actually touches on all of like the 7 deadly sins, but at some point, because it's mostly formed around gluttony, it seems, as a concept and a theme.
Yeah, I mean, it started off just sort of like a normal day in the life, but then he goes to this restaurant and he's having a great time, as we all do, but then he like keeps eating more and more, and then the waitress turns into an ice cream cone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he starts eating her, and it almost felt like he was like possessing her in a way. And then he eats like the table and the cloth, and then he like, I don't know if this was after or before, but he turns into a car, and then he goes to a delicatessen to get some more.
And then they both turn into a car. Him and the woman turn into a car at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think this is a theme maybe in 70s animation, because didn't that happen in Greece as well? Did someone turn into a car, or there was a humanoid car? But that really took me back. I have to know, how did you find this one? Like, where did this come from? In the present day.
I was on YouTube and I just typed in 70s cartoons, and this showed up in a playlist of psychedelic cartoons.
Wow.
Yeah. I found it last night, and I was pretty excited for us to do this.
Wow.
So I guess like the main attraction of this short film is the animation style. So it sort of morphs. Like, remember the show Animorphs? It reminds me a little bit of that. There's a lot of characters turning into things, and also all of the movement. I don't want to say start stop, but it's not really consistent motion. It's more sort of like
waves or something.
Yeah, like a short moment of turning into something. And yeah, there was some really interesting like movement, especially in the beginning where he's on the phone and you see him turn his head up to look at the ceiling, and you just see like these really interesting angles that I'm guessing were not possible prior to computer animation. But yeah, they were really sort of pushing this new technology.
Yeah, this is one of the first CGI animated films, right? I should say, since this is Canadian.
Yeah, A. Oh, yeah, I think French Canadian also. Mm-hmm. So give a shout out to the francophones of Canada. But yeah, let's see. So that's like the aesthetic of it. The music. Let's get to the music. Very 70s. And it starts off with what I felt was like a very sort of ominous, sort of like almost sounded like a metronome with like the hi-hat for the drums. It was like very incessant, and it kind of sounded like a ticking of a clock. And it sort of matched this one scene where the woman's head turns into a clock, and then you see like the hands of the clock moving. And it just seemed like we were counting down to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was definitely like this like staccato urgency that was happening in it. It was really ominous and like hypnotic and haunting.
Mm-hmm. And then we switch into, what was it, like a little funkier number? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he was eating, or was that when it was? Or
yeah, it kind of flips back and forth between these, I guess, these tension breaks with the music, where you have that urgent music, and then there's more of like a lull, like we're hanging out and we're eating and we're having fun, and then it goes back to well, wait a second, something bad's gonna happen.
I liked the sexy music they played when he falls in love with the waitress.
Oh yeah.
And then she turns into a heart. I mean, it wasn't the most romantic scene. It seems kind of creepy because like he's just this customer, and then he like falls for her, but I don't know, it seems very like possessive, like.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, she's actually a menu at first, and then she morphs into a person, and then she morphs into an ice cream, and no, then she's naked, and then she morphs into an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And then they morph into a car together. So there's a lot of transfer, and there's this objectification that I felt like was happening. Just really everything that this main character interacts with is just something for him to consume and to like have,
because in the beginning when he's at that office, the like chair turns into the woman, and I'm guessing she was supposed to be like a secretary or something, I'm not sure, and then she turns into the clock.
So like 5 o'clock, it's time to leave.
So there's definitely a lot of like objectification going on. And
definitely some fat phobia too.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I was like, it was definitely not body positive, and it was very body negative. And I see like he might have been trying to make a statement on like, rampant consumerism and all of that, but I still don't think that it's acceptable to sort of like pin that on like a certain body type.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then like using hunger as a vehicle for that, like there's really only certain way that you can go with it. So like he went that way. But I mean, it definitely is problematic as far as fat phobia goes. There's so much about it that's just really creepy and haunting. And like, I feel like almost watching it in this present moment, and like with the knowledge that we have about that now and where we're at with that in society, as this like extra layer to like how creepy it is and how weird and strange, and feels really surreal. But I think when I'm coming back to like the choice to call it the hunger, and then to use food as this vehicle for like delivering this message, with what happens at the end, and I don't know if we should spoil it or not, but like there's almost this like whole eat the rich thing going on with it, and I was wondering if there was more to it as far as the metaphor that I really wasn't picking up on.
I think, all right, so I guess we'll give a spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what the ending is, don't listen after this. But yeah, I thought the ending was really curious because I was like, is he being punished for his greed or something? And like what you're saying with Eat the Rich, sort of like, and then like the music was sort of this like safari, almost like kind of African music. So I was like, was was he like representing sort of like the gluttonous West, and then how we're like taking resources away from poorer countries? Or I don't even like saying that word, because I don't know. I just don't like the word poor because of the connotation. But country sort of taking advantage of countries from colonialism and
just exploitation. In general, yeah.
And sort of like the tables get turned, and all of the people. So basically, he falls out of his bed and he falls through some type of vortex, and he lands, and he's surrounded by all of these.
What at first is eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just eyes in the darkness, the dark blue. Yeah.
And then they form into people who are, I'm guessing starving because they look very emaciated. Yeah. And then they start coming towards him, and then it ends with him being eaten by all of them to this like safari music, which I was like, okay, is this, because on one hand it's like, is it problematic to have this type of music playing during this kind of like grotesque scene? But it can also be seen as like a revenge, against
like a subversion, or
a subversion. Like, oh, you think you can pull one over on us? Well, we're gonna like get you back and eat. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the concept. I mean, it's a simple concept, but I think it's well executed. Despite the
and a visual feast, like really. I mean, there's just so much to look at, and I think that the fact that there isn't dialogue in it too, it adds to that so much more. Like, you have so much to look at and to listen to, and watching this several times too, there's just so many layers that come out of it as well.
I just wanted to make another point about the music. It reminded me a little bit of Fantastic Planet. That's another 70s film that I'd like for us to cover. That's sort of like a sci-fi piece, and it also has this kind of like contemplative, haunting music that runs throughout. And then another part that I really liked was when the woman was dancing. It reminded me a lot of those iPod commercials from the 2000s. Because it's just like this silhouette of color. And there is a shadow, but like just the silhouette of color I thought was very reminiscent of, or not reminiscent, but like,
that reminded me of something and I couldn't place it. That was a good one.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, for sure.
And one other point I really liked about the animation, and I think I've mentioned this before on previous episodes, but I love when there's like transparency through the characters. So there's some scenes where you see like a character like move their hand, and you'll see like another like body part or like a plate or something through so you'll see like the line work, and I really, anytime I see that, I love it.
I love that too.
It's just like a little touch that just, I don't know, it's just like this little abstraction that I really think makes an animation just a little bit better. A lot better, actually. I really like it.
Yeah, I really like it too. Speaking of things that I really liked, when the eyes did appear in the dark at the end, and it kind of narrows in on the pupil, and there's like a little mouth inside of the pupil of the eye. I think I missed that. It was very neat.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like of all of the visuals and things that I've seen before, like how come there's never been a mouth in the iris of an eye like that I've like it seems something that should already have crossed my path. And
like so speaking with the eyes. Almost.
Yeah, it was like this, and the hunger of the eyes too, like ready to eat, and how all the emaciated folks at the end like had these like razor sharp teeth, and that's kind of what was happening inside the eyes as well. But it's like it felt so familiar and so fresh at the same time, and I loved that dichotomy of those two things. Also, I feel like that like the music in this was, especially like the more like staccato kind of music in the beginning, has that like, I mean, obviously Radiohead came after, but like that has that same kind of like, oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, no.
Like tension building. I also was thinking like, I was like, could this be a commentary on like like eating animals, perhaps, because he's, he when he was at the restaurant, he was eating all like the fish and pig. And then one point when he's eating the pig, it almost looks like it's trying to escape or something. Like,
Oh,
he's putting it in his mouth, but then it doesn't go down immediately. It like sort of morphs, and there's like, we see it from a few different angles before he officially eats the pig. So I was like, was the pig like alive and trying to escape? And then when he gets eaten at the end, I'm like, oh, was this his like punishment? And this is a similar theme in Fantastic Planet, which we're gonna do. Yeah, so I thought that was another thing. And it was interesting how like his downfall began with like his stomach. Like he's like on the bed, and then he has this like stomach ache, and you see these like bubbles and like these like I know, he's just like sort of distressed, and almost like he like has caused his own downfall.
and then he goes to the pill cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's consuming the pills as well. So
Very sort of like what was it, like the 70s housewives on like taking like Vicodin or what is it, like there's always like all of those tropes of like everyone on their like antidepressants and their Quaaludes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like maybe trying to like suppress our feelings by just like medicating it away, which again I don't think has aged as well, because I think medication is definitely a very good thing. I'm very pro medicine, and I don't think it's always trying to run away from your problems. But yeah, that's just like a little aside.
Yeah, definitely. Something about this also is like, who is the audience? Like, who is it? Is it definitely adults? Is it, there's nudity in here, but this is not an American film, so we can't judge it by those kind of standards, I suppose. But, it, and it's so short, and then how was it played? And, I guess it's an art house film, so it's like a Cannes thing, and, it's meant for artists to consume. And so then that adds layers to it. What do you think about that?
I need to do some more research, because I'm really curious as to like when people started taking animation seriously. I mean, because like I think there's like different mediums where people have either seen them as only for kids or as gimmicky. Like I believe like when photography first came out, people thought it was just kind of like a fad or something, whereas painting is like the real art.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, for a while, like Looney Tunes and all of those, I mean, to me those are art, but I'm just curious as to like when people started making content that was not specifically geared towards kids. And that's a really good question, because this is like a really intense, like, I'm not saying it's a kid couldn't watch it and not like understand it, but I don't know who the audience would be. Like, I don't know what the animation scene was like, if it was underground or, who, I don't know.
Yeah, and then that goes back to the ending, and if that's meant to be a revenge, or tying into who's the audience, and then what's the message and the purpose. And I think that's kind of unclear. Like as far as there's almost this blurred lines thing to it, with the lines going under the lines, and even with, you said, the pig, and is the pig going down, and I noticed that too. Like, there's so many animals, like you see animals all over. And at one point on the table, he's got like 3 different animals that he's eating. And then there's an animal like in the delicatessen. And then I'm thinking, so is this something about like vegetarianism, or is it just like eating in general? And,
overconsumption.
Right. And then it's almost like those layers kind of feed into the whole way that the animation comes together anyways, because it's so full. Like, it's full of everything that you could possibly imagine is like kind of like chalked in there. Not chalked. It's not even a word.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now.
And speaking of audience, it is curious, because like it was Was it like produced by the national, like some national Canadian organization?
Right, which is why I'm thinking, is it like a PBS? Are they like, are they broadcasting this as like a message to the people, you know?
I've heard of like artists using public funds to like make sort of subversive content. Yeah, so do you have any other thoughts about...
Yeah, well, this one certainly gave us a lot to chew on.
How fitting, yes. I was definitely full after watching it. Wow, well, that was it. La Fin. Y'all should see it. It's on YouTube for free. And it's a really unique animation style with some vibrant colors, unique movement, and...
a real smorgasbord for the senses, if you will.